There you were on holiday, you and James. You went out on a trip. James was in the boat. You went snorkelling. Tell us what happened then.
Yeah, we were snorkeling together actually for a good 20 minutes before James went back to the boat, and he wasn't feeling well. So I just stayed out there because 20 minutes of snorkeling just isn't enough. So I was just enjoying the underwater creation and didn't have any sense of fear or danger, and just, like you said, felt like a bump or a tug on my arm. And when I looked to the right to see what I had bumped into, I was face to face with the shark, and he had my whole arm in his mouth. And I was just staring at him for a second. He was floating there, did not thrash, just had my arm in his mouth, just staring at me, almost like he was like game on, you know. And I yanked my arm back, and that's when he clamped down and began to thrash. And of course, you know, I had fear right away, but when he began to thrash, the strength of the Lord just came up from within me, and I fought back. And I remember thinking, you're not going to take my life. I'm not going to allow you, you know, to take my life here. And, you know, I was yanking and finally was able to get loose from his jaws. And when I pulled my arm out, it was just gone. I had just a mangled stump left.
And I mean, I'm just literally listening to you open-mouthed. I mean, it's just the most horrendous experience for you. Did you feel pain at that point? You said you yanked your arm and then you realised half of your arm had gone.
Yeah,
because often people say your body goes into shock, don't they?
Yeah, and I didn't actually feel pain at all until we got to the ambulance and they began to unwrap the beach towel and, you know, try to stop the bleeding some more. So it had been probably a good 45 minutes, I would guess, from the attack on, that I didn't feel any pain.
As we said, James had swum back to the boat, so you were on the boat, James. But then, Tiffany, you managed, with half your arm missing, in total shock and bleeding profusely, you managed to swim back towards the boat.
Yeah, the miracle of it all, I was at the surface the whole time. I had the snorkel mask still in, and I was breathing through the snorkel tube during the attack. I never swallowed any water, which is crazy. You know, snorkel tubes only come up above the water 2 to 3 inches, and it never, you know, dipped below the surface as we were thrashing around. So whenever I got my arm out, I just flipped over and took off my snorkel mask and started screaming for help. And like you said, I was swimming back. I raised my right arm out of the water and then just began to swim back with my left and just prayed the entire time.
And you must have
just said, "Help me, Jesus."
Yeah, you must have been bleeding an awful lot. Was the shark?
Oh, yeah.
Was the shark still around at this point?
I don't know. I didn't look back to see. I just swam and wanted to make it back to that boat. Nobody else saw the shark, so we don't know what happened after that. It's a sheer miracle that he didn't follow me, because yes, I was bleeding profusely. I mean, he said that blood was literally surrounding me.
And going through this trauma, it's only a matter of, what, 6-7 weeks ago? When did it actually sink in that things were never going to be the same again?
You know, it's obviously immediately after I had woke up from surgery. You know, it dawned on me, like, what had happened and what I had gone through. But it wasn't until we got back to the U.S. and I went to go wash my hands after using the restroom, and I, you know, was going like this, and I'm like, how am I supposed to wash my hands? Like, it just dawned on me the everyday tasks that are going to be more difficult now, you know, being one-handed. And you know, I started to tear up a little bit, and he came over and he's like, "Are you okay?" And I said, "I just realized that this is going to be a lot more difficult. You know, there's a lot of things that I'm not going to be able to do anymore."
And you have 3 very young children.
Yes.
How have you explained this to them? Have you told them about how this happened to you?
So we didn't tell them details because they are so young, 6, 4, and 2. What we told them was that their mother had lost her right hand and most of her forearm, and that she had an accident in the water. And of course, our older 2 are more inquisitive and they want to ask questions. And we told them that when they get a little bit older, we'll tell them the details. But you guys need to know that Mom had an accident, but she's okay.
Yeah.
And they've already embraced her and already adjusted. It's just really been incredible how resilient kids are. And they're just happy to have their mother.
Yeah.
Tiffany,
Sure.
we think that you are a remarkable
Amazing.
and obviously very, very lucky person. And it's great to be able to talk to you today.
Well, thank you. We're just honored to be able to share, God's story about us, because it's just a miracle after miracle after miracle, and as to why I'm even here. I shouldn't be alive. So to be able to tell that is just, it's an honor.
Yes.